Hey guys, I want to talk to you today about your rates and more specifically about raising your rates. As you know, as freelancers, often most of your work will be done in project rates. Sometimes if you're working on retainer for clients or you're doing contract work for clients, that will you will charge them by the hour or maybe by a lump sum based on your hourly rate. But of course, you will also have projects that you calculate in your head based on how long it will take you based on your own hourly rate that you don't have to tell them, but you give them the project price. Just want to get some clarification there. But this can be a great time of year to think about whether or not to raise your rates, because it's so much easier to start the year off. If you're going to track new rates, it's so much easier to just start fresh at the new year, which means that now is a good time to think about whether or not you should raise your rates. Now, there is no hard and fast rule about when to raise your rates. Well, I've achieved this many clients and so I should raise my rates, or I have done this much more training and so I should raise my rates, although that can absolutely be a reason. But you can also maybe look to, if you've done a lot of pitching and every single client has said, yes, absolutely, that can be a clue that it's time to raise your rates. If everyone is like, yeah, I'm happy to pay that rate, it could be a clue that you're undercharging a little bit. Also too, frankly, if it's just been a couple of years since you have raised your rates, it might be time to evaluate. Since the cost of living goes up every single year, your rates should be at least increasing every couple of years, if not every year. They don't have to increase. And by the way, when I say increase your rates, when you're thinking in terms of your hourly rate, it doesn't have to be doubling your hourly rate or things like that. It could even be like a $5 or $10 per hour increase, which obviously really, really adds up over the course of a year. Now, it can be whatever you decide that it could be, but the point is that now can be a really good time to take some time to evaluate it, so that in the new year, starting the 1st, you are charging this new rate, and that's just automatically what you quote people, or what you have in your head to calculate your project rate. Now, what do you have to tell clients? Well, if they're clients that you are working with regularly, like you're on retainer with them or something like that, if you're in the middle of a contract, you can't change your rate in the middle of a contract. You might have to say to them, hey, just want to let you know that when it's time for contract renewal, my rate will be this instead of this. It's not a matter of asking, is it okay if I increase my rate? It's a matter of telling. And then it's up to them whether or not they want to accept your rate increase. Quite frankly, most clients will. Unless you're doubling your rate, if you're doing a modest rate increase, most clients are going to be totally fine with that. You've already proved your worth and they don't want to go through the trouble of finding somebody else new. Most clients are going to be totally happy with that. So again, if you're in a contract right now, that goes to February 1st and it's for X number of hours at X rate, you are locked into that contract. But what you want to say to those clients is, hey, I just want to let you know, and maybe you want to put it on your calendar when you get closer to the time that the contract is up, maybe January 1st if it ends on February 1st, and say, I just want to let you know that my rates will increase for the next contract, and they'll increase by this much. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't ask permission. You are just letting them know. And then same thing if you have clients that you work, that you're not on a fixed contract with, but you do regular work with on an hourly basis. It's the same thing. You just say, I just want to let you know my rates are increasing as of January 1st. Let me know if you have any questions. And here's the thing though, you do need them to confirm to you that they're okay with it. And you could even say, I just want to let you know that my rate will increase to this rate as of this date, January 1st. Please just reply to this email to let me know that you've received it and you acknowledge it. Then you're good to go, right? Because you can't start charging people rates that they haven't agreed to. So you do have to get your client's agreement or just acknowledgement of the fact that your rates are going to increase. Now, what about project prices? Project prices, you don't have to warn anybody of anything, because remember, your project prices, what you're giving your clients, is just that bottom line, just the, okay, we talked about all the project, everything that's going into the project. In your head, you're going through, there's going to be so many numbers of prep, there's going to be so many numbers of work, there are probably going to be some revisions, there's going to be this meeting, there's going to be this meeting. You're putting that into your head, and you're multiplying that by your hourly rate and a couple other factors. And then what you're giving them, you're not giving them line items. You're saying, okay, this is going to be a $6,000 project or whatever it's going to be. So what you're going to do is you don't need to tell anybody what goes into those project rates. So you can just start January 1st, or now if you want to, but January 1st, start calculating those projects with your higher rate, with your $85 rate versus your $75 rate, or whatever, wherever you are. And that can just be for you knowing that your base rate now is 85 instead of 75, or again, whatever it is. But you don't have to, when it comes to your project rates, you don't have to warn anybody about it. There's nothing you have to tell, because again, they don't get to see the line items, and they don't need to see the line items. All they need to know is how much it's going to cost them to get everything. So that is one portion where you can raise your rates and raise your rate for yourself, open up some champagne, but you don't have to tell your clients when it comes to project prices. Contracts, yes, like I said earlier, if you do hourly work with people, yes, or if you have regular projects you do at a certain rate, that would fall into that camp as well, where if you usually do such and such type of work for a certain amount and you're raising your rates, then yes, you would want to factor that in and let them know in advance and get their acknowledgement. But now is a great time of year to start doing this, so you're ready to go. If you decide that a rate increase is what you want to do, now's a good time of year to do it, so that at January 1st, you're ready to go. And then you can also put it in your calendar, by the way, for next December 1st, December 1st after that, December 1st. Like I said, you don't have to increase your rates every year, but it's not a bad idea to just take a little time on December 1st every year to evaluate. Some years you'll go, no, this is probably still the rate I should be at. And some years you'll go, you know what? It's been a while since I've raised my rates. It's time. And this could be the year for you. And if so, I really think this video is going to help.